Hey everybody, welcome to class today. Today is going to be an external rotation and back bends class. So we're going to be moving in semicircles, so from the front to the back, from the front to the back. We get into some pretty tricky poses like scorpion pose, pincha mayurasana, and we work towards flying lizard, which is a really fun arm balance. If you enjoy these classes, please remember to like and subscribe. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you think. Otherwise, head over to my Instagram, let me know, send me any class requests. We are going to get started today in a kneeling position in the center of the mat. Starting in a comfortable seated position, kneeling on the shins if you can. You can have the toes tucked under, the tops of the feet flat to the floor. And take one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. And as you inhale, feel the air expand through your chest, expand through your belly. And then as you exhale, feel the belly deflate, feel the chest deflate. And then again, inhale, feel the chest expand, the ribs expand, the belly expand. And then as you exhale, feel the belly deflate, the ribs close, the chest deflate. And maybe start your Ujjayi pranayama, bringing a gentle constriction to the back of the throat. And take a moment to set an intention for today's practice. It can be personal or it can be dedicated to someone or something else. And then when you're ready, gently releasing the hands down to the thighs. You can open the eyes or keep them closed. Inhale, gentle back bend, send the chest up to the sky. And then as you exhale, bow the crown of the head to tap the floor. One more like that. Inhale, gentle back bend. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, roll it all the way up, gentle back bend. And then this time as you exhale, make your way onto all fours. Inhale, drop the belly for cow. Exhale, round the spine in cow. Inhale, cow belly. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. This time as you inhale, keep the right knee bent to lift the foot to the floor. And then as you exhale, round, draw the knee to the nose. Inhale, take it up, foot to the ceiling. Exhale, knee to nose. One more inhale. Exhale, round. This time you're going to inhale, send the foot towards the ceiling. And you can stay here imagining you can touch the foot to the head or take the left hand, reach it forward. And then start to reach that left hand back to grab a hold of the right foot. Gently just touching the foot. Use the power of the spinal muscles to get the extension through the spine. Tabletop bow. And then slowly release the arm and the leg long to spinal balance. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, sweep the left arm to the left, the right leg to the right. Inhale, take it back to spinal balance. Just two more like that. Inhale to spinal balance. Exhale to tabletop. Inhale, send the left foot up towards the sky with the knee bent, cow belly. And then as you exhale, round into your cat, draw the knee to the nose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Stay here, reaching the foot for the head, or take the right arm forward, inhale. And then as you exhale, sweep that right arm back, reaching for the left foot. Tabletop bow, take a few breaths here, opening through the shoulders. On your next inhale, send the arm and the leg long for spinal balance. And then as you exhale, sweep the left leg to the left, the right arm to the right. Inhale, spinal balance. Exhale, take it off to the side, trying to keep the arm at the height of the shoulder, the leg at the height of the hip. Inhale, spinal balance. One more, exhale, airplane. Inhale, spinal balance. Exhale, bring it back to all fours. Take one more round of cat-cow, inhale. Exhale. And then tuck under the toes, come into a neutral spine, take an inhale. And then as you exhale, you're just going to come to a hovering cat. Take an inhale here, keeping the right knee bent. As you exhale, you're going to lift the foot up and then just stamp the foot to the ceiling for 1. Inhale, tap the knee to the floor. Exhale, stamp the foot up, 2. Inhale, 3. Inhale, 2 more. 4, warming up the glute and the hamstring. Inhale, 5. Inhale back to your hovering cat. Take an exhale here. And then lift the left foot. Inhale, tap the knee to the floor. Exhale, stamp it to the sky for 1. Inhale to tap. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale back to your hovering cat. And then exhale, send the hips all the way up and back. Downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths to roll out the hips. Wiggle out the feet. And then looking forward to your hands, we're going to ripple through the spine, coming into a plank pose on your inhale. And then bend the knees, lead with the hips. Exhale, back to downward dog. Inhale, roll it forward. Exhale, take it back. This time as you roll forward, drop the heels over to the right and start to ripple forward, so you're kind of in a twisted plank. And then bend the knees, send the hips back. Shift the heels over to the left, inhale, ripple forward. Keep the twist as you bend the knees, ripple back. And just take one more to each side, or taking any other movement that feels good in your body. And then looking towards the top of the mat, slowly walk yourself all the way up to Uttanasana, forward fold. Maybe taking opposite hand to opposite elbow and gently just letting the body hang. And then slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, rolling up the spine, thinking of stacking each segment on top of the first, on top of the next. And coming all the way to standing. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Lower all the way to the belly. Untuck the toes, inhale, peel the chest up, Bhujangasana, baby cobra. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Take one cycle of breath here. And then on your exhale, look forward, step walk or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, fold for number 2. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step, walk or float, chaturanga. Lower all the way to the belly. Inhale, peel up, cobra, ribs stay on the floor. Exhale, downward facing dog. 1 cycle of breath. Empty the lungs. Step, walk or float to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, fold for 3. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step, walk or float. Lower to the belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Full exhale. Step, walk or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, fold for number 4. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step, walk or float. All the way to the belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Full cycle of breath. Step, walk or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise up. Last one. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, step, walk or float. Lower to the belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale. Exhale. Step, walk or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Inhale, chair pose. Hold for 5 breaths. Uttanasana. Weight is in the heels. If the feet are apart, the knees are apart. One more inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, step, walk or float, chaturanga. This time your choice. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step the right leg forward and on your inhale, raise up, warrior 2. Exhale here. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, step it back, take it through a vinyasa. Option to keep the right leg floating. We meet in downward dog. Step the left leg forward, raise up, warrior 2 on your inhale. Exhale to sink in. Reverse your warrior, inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, take it through your vinyasa. Step the right leg forward, same thing. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale. Reverse inhale. Cartwheel the hands. Exhale. Take it through your vinyasa. Step the left leg forward, raise up on your inhale, warrior 2. Exhale. Reverse inhale. Exhale, cartwheel it down, take it through. Step the right leg forward, inhale, warrior 2. Exhale. Reverse your warrior, inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, take it through. We're doing a total of 5. Step the left leg forward, inhale, warrior 2. Exhale. Reverse your warrior inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the hands, take it through your vinyasa. You can always skip it and meet us in dog. 2 more, step the right leg forward, inhale. Exhale. Reverse inhale. Cartwheel the hands down, take it through your vinyasa. Step the left leg forward, inhale. Exhale. Reverse inhale. Cartwheel down, exhale, vinyasa. Last time, step the right leg forward, inhale. Exhale. Reverse inhale. Take it down on your exhale. Left leg forward, inhale. Exhale. Reverse inhale. Cartwheel the hands down, take it through, we meet in dog. And take a couple of breaths here in dog, maybe take a child's pose if you need it. And then on your inhale, open up through lift up through the right leg and then open up the hip to the sky. And gently draw down through the right shoulder as you plant the left heel towards the floor, even though it might not reach. We're going to hold each pose for about 5 breaths today, so get comfortable, set up your alignment. Take one more inhale here. And then on your exhale, step that right leg forward, coming into your runner's lunge. Up on the fingertips, strong lift through the back leg as you shine the chest forward. Make sure the right knee is over the right ankle. And you're actively lifting up through that back quadricep. From here, you're going to take the right foot out on about a 45-degree angle and start to rotate to the outside edge of the right foot, coming into an external rotation. You should feel a nice big opening through the hip here. You can have both hands planted on the ground, or if it feels better to you, you can rotate to the outside edge of the left foot, sweeping the right arm to the back of the room. Keep the hips lifting, 2 more breaths. And from here, you're going to ground down through the left hand, step the right foot back to meet the left, Skandasana, side plank. Feel free to modify however you need to. You can stagger the feet or drop the bottom knee. Keep the right hip stacking on top of the left. Left shoulder blade drawing down the back. One more breath. And from here, you're just going to step the right toes behind the left knee. We're coming into a baby wild thing, so not your fullest expression of wild thing, just starting to open up through the chest. Long reach through the right arm. Building a lot of strength, a lot of heat in that left arm. And from here, looking down towards the top of your mat, step the right foot back to the top of the mat and then pivot towards the long end of the mat. We're coming into Skandasana and we're just going to take waves. So move at the pace of your own breath. going to take 5 of my breaths here, so you can move back and forward. You can make it as fluid as you want to, as deep or as shallow as your body needs. Just making sure that those knees aren't going too far over the ankles or the toes. And then we're going to rotate to the back of the mat, coming into a runner's lunge on the opposite side. So the left leg is forward, the right leg is lifting strongly. And then coming into that external rotation, so turning the left foot out at an angle, dropping to the outside edge of the foot, staying with both hands planted in the chest, reaching forward, or rotating to the outer edge of the right foot, sweeping the left arm back. And then stepping the left foot to meet the right, Skandasana, making any modifications that you need to. And then stepping that left foot behind the right knee, coming into your baby wild thing. Keep the right shoulder blade hugging onto the back. And then looking down towards the top of the mat, step that left foot back to the top of the mat, and we're coming into a standing split. So you can choose to hang out here, or if you have a handstand in your practice or handstand hops, we're going to take 5 breaths to play with that. And when you're ready, bringing that left leg back, hop it to the back of the mat, single leg chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Sweep the left leg up, open up the hip. 5 breaths here. Gently draw that left shoulder down as you open up the left side of the body. Take one more inhale, and then as you exhale, step it forward into your runner's lunge. Maybe this time you can run the hands down the sides of the body, reaching towards the back of the room. Firing up those back muscles, loop the shoulder blades onto the back. And if you lifted the hands, take them down, coming into your externally rotated runner's lunge, whatever version works the best for you. And then stepping that left leg back to meet the right side plank. Maybe this time you can float the left leg in space, coming into a star. And then drip those left toes behind the right, starting to open up a little bit deeper towards Wild Thing. We're not quite there yet. And then looking back towards the top of the mat, step that left foot up, pivot towards the long end of your mat, and we're coming back into our Skandasana waves. Maybe this time you have the hands off, sweeping them from side to side. And then coming back up to the top of your mat into your runner's lunge. Once again, option this time to run the hands down the body, strengthening through the whole backside. If you lift it up, take the hands down, come into your version of the externally rotated runner's lunge. One more breath. And then side plank, maybe you float the right leg. Keep the hips stacking, the left shoulder blade plugging into the back. And then drip those right toes behind the left knee, starting to open up, sweeping the right arm forward. Half Wild Thing. And look towards the top of the mat. Step the right foot up, standing splits on the right. And then you can choose to stay here, or just like the other side, we'll take 5 breaths to play with handstand or handstand hops. And when you're done, coming down, hopping the right leg to the back of the mat, coming through that single leg vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. And from here, look to the top of the mat, step walk or float the feet to the outsides of the hands, coming into Malasana. Always feeling free to take a block underneath the hips or not coming as deep. And you can choose to hang out here, or we're going to plant the hands coming into crow pose, Bokasana. Snuggle the knees to the backs or the outsides of the backs of the arms. And then maybe you just play around with teeter-tottering one foot at a time, or maybe you can lift both feet at a time. And from here, take the feet down, ground down through the left foot, come up to stand in tree. So the sole of the right foot is going to come to the inner left thigh. And you can take the hands to wherever feels good for you. I'd suggest taking them to the hips first to make sure that you're not dropping out through the left hip. Think of hugging that left outer hip in to even off through the pelvis. from here, you're going to step that right leg to the back of the mat, coming into Warrior Two. And then on your inhale, you're going to reverse your warrior. 5 breaths here, lengthen through the lower back. Bring the back bend into the upper back and feel that lovely side body stretch. One more inhale here. And then start to cartwheel it forward to side angle pose. You can have the forearm on the thigh, the hand to the inside or the outside of the foot, or onto a block. Wherever you are, ground down strongly through the back foot and think of lengthening through the whole spine, rotating the right rib cage up. And making sure that that right knee is not collapsing in towards the big toe side. And then from here, use your right arm to pick you up. We're coming into Goddess, so face the long end of your mat, point the toes out to a 45-degree angle and come into a nice deep squat. Keep the spine nice and tall and the knees are pointing in the same direction as the toes, so if that means you need to come a little bit shallower, feel free. You can have your arms in any position that's good for you here. And then you're just going to pivot to the back of your mat, now the new front of your mat, coming into side angle on the right hand side. So whatever version works for you on this side, it might be different to the other side. Try and be even if you can. And then coming all the way up into your reverse warrior. Bending nice and deep into the front leg, making sure the knee's not collapsing in. Warrior Two. Stepping up into tree, sole of the left foot comes to the inner right thigh. And then once again, making sure that you're not dropping out into the right hip, squeeze the outer right hip in, even out through the pelvis. Then step the left foot wide, turn the toes out, sink down, Malasana. Maybe this time you come up onto the toes, increasing the strength. And see if you can really squeeze the butt muscles to get the knees to drive outwards as opposed to just pressing the elbows into the knees. Building lots of strength. And then from here, planting the hands, coming back into our crow pose. Option here, if you wish, to come into a tripod headstand. Slowly lowering the head down to the mat and then lifting the legs with control. And if you came upside down, slowly start to lower the knees to the backs of the arms again. Come back up through crow pose and then shoot it back, chaturanga. Take it through vinyasa, we meet in downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths, take a child's pose if you need to. And then look to the middle of the mat. You're going to hop your shins to the middle of the mat and come to kneeling. Tuck under through the toes and come into an intense toe stretch. You can stay here, or you can start to play around with lifting the knees up, leaning the torso back slightly, and just playing with the weight shift, feeling the lower abdominals engage, and feeling the strength as well as the stretch that this gives you through your toes. And then coming up to stand on the shins. The knees are hips distance apart. So we're going to come into what I like to call a matrix camel. So put one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, and think of drawing the pelvis and the ribs together slightly. You're going to keep this length in the spine, take an inhale, and then as you exhale, bending or hinging from the knees, you're going to lean the body straight back. Inhale back to center. We'll take 4 more. Exhale, keep the body in one straight line. Inhale. The only thing that bends is the knees. Exhale, back. Inhale, 3. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. So you can stay with this, or we're moving into Uttanasana. Take the hands to the back pockets. Inhale, open up through the chest. Think of squeezing the shoulder blades together and lengthen through the lower back. You want the bend to come from the thoracic. So think of someone pressing their fist in between your shoulder blades to open up through the back of your spine, through your chest. And then maybe you can start to go a little bit deeper. Maybe take the hands to the backs of the thighs. Maybe taking the hands to the heels. The toes can be tucked under. Making sure that the hips stay over the knees. And if you came all the way down, slowly reversing it, taking the hands to the backs of the legs, and then the sacrum slowly coming all the way back up. And then you're going to pivot to face the side of your mat, stepping the right leg out for Bokasana. Stepping the left leg out for Bokasana. Edit 38 minutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly making your way out of your camel pose and coming into kneeling. From here, we're going to pivot towards the long end of the mat. Keep the right knee grounded. Take the left leg out to the side for Bokasana, great pose. Take the left hand to the left thigh. Inhale, sweep the right arm up and start to bend over towards the left. And from here, we're going to come into Queensgate. So start to sweep that right arm down towards the floor in front of you. Bring it all the way around to the back heel as you cartwheel, sweep the left arm up and over. One more. And then as you exhale, sweep it around, release to Anahatasana. Bring the knees underneath the hips, start to walk the hands forward for puppy pose. And from here, you're going to walk the hands in a little bit. Turn the toes out so that the inside edges of the feet are facing the floor. And then you're going to start to walk the knees out. We're coming into frog. So you want to keep the ankles in line with the knees so that your shins are parallel with the short edges of the mat. And then you're just going to walk your knees out as far as is comfortable for you. And then you can play with shifting the weight backwards and forwards. It's really just about what's the most comfortable for you. This is inherently a very uncomfortable pose, but it's a very good stretch for the inner thighs. And then as gracefully as you can, you're going to come out of this, coming back up into that kneeling position. We're going to take Parigasana on the other side. So ground down through the left shin. Take the right leg off to the side, right hand to the right thigh. Inhale, sweep that left arm up and over. And then exhale, side bend towards the right. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, start to sweep that left arm over and down towards the floor. And then back towards that back heel as the right arm sweeps over and behind, coming into Queensgate. And then as you exhale, you're going to come out of this. And you're going to rotate all the way back to the top of the mat, coming to kneeling at the top of the mat. And we're going to take that matrix camel again. So one hand to the pelvis, one hand to the chest. Draw them together. And then as you exhale, lean back. Inhale for one. Exhale. Inhale for two. You should feel this in your quads. Exhale. Inhale for three. Exhale. Inhale for four. Last one. Exhale. Inhale for five. Uttanasana, camel pose. So taking whatever variation works the best in your body. Hands to the sacrum, hands to the back of the legs, or hands all the way to the heels. Slowly starting to make your way out. Take a moment in neutral. And then make yourself into a little ball. So bring the bum to the heels. Plant the hands somewhere between the knees and the ankles. Press down through the hands. See if you can lift the shins up. Maybe lift the toes up for Malasana. And then shoot it back. Take it through Vinyasa. We all meet in downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths. And then inhale, sweep the right leg up. Exhale, bring that right ankle to cross over the top of the left thigh. So you're coming into a figure four downward facing dog. Maybe you take a bit of a bend in through the left leg and start to walk the hands in a little bit so your dog's a bit shorter. So we're kind of in a pigeon in a downward facing dog. And And then from here we're going to make our way into Ekkapada Kundunyasana. So unwind the right leg, take the right knee to the back of the right arm, shift the weight forward, Ekkapada Kundunyasana. Maybe the right leg can extend. And then slowly lower back down. Step the right leg forward for that externally rotated runner's lunge. Come into the version that works the best for you. You should be able to go quite deep now. And then you've got options here. You can grab onto the right big toe to come into full Skandasana, or maybe you just grab onto the right shin and come up into your side plank on the left. If that's too much, you can always just come into whatever variation of side plank works for you, maybe a tree side plank. And then stepping that right leg behind you, this time full wild thing, opening up the chest and the hips to the sky. Look towards the top of the mat, step the right foot up, rotate towards the long end of the mat, coming into those Skandasana waves. Maybe you come a little bit higher this time, getting more into the glutes and the hamstrings, building a bit more strength. And then coming towards the back of the mat, rotating, dropping the back right knee, coming into Anjanayasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then think of the lower belly drawing up towards the ribs and the tailbone drawing down towards the floor. And then options, you can either just clasp the hands behind the back, open up through the chest, or bend through the right knee, grab a hold of that right foot, coming into Baddha Anjanayasana, bound Anjanayasana. If it is available in your practice, you can always reach the arms up and overhead, reaching back for the foot. That is something that I don't think will ever be possible in my body, but that's okay. If you had a hold of the foot, slowly, with control, release it. Bring the left knee back to meet the right. We're coming back into puppy pose, Anahatasana. Maybe this time you cupcake the hands coming up onto the fingertips, stretching deeper into the chest. And then planting down through the forearms, start to tuck under the toes, walk the feet towards the elbows, coming into Dolphin Pose. Keep the chest shining through the gateway of the arms. The heels reaching towards the floor. And then take the feet about a half a footprint back. Look at the space between your thumbs. Take an inhale, shift forward, tap the nose to the floor. Exhale back for 1. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale 2. Keep the elbows under the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale 3. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. One more. Inhale, exhale. Take a brief break in downward dog if you need to. And then lowering down through the forearms, we're going to make our way either into a single leg dolphin, or if it's in your practice, pinch Malasana. And if you came up into your pinch Malasana, slowly lower down, coming into a forearm plank. And then lowering down into a Sphinx pose. Take a couple of recovery breaths here, shining the chest through the gateway of the arms, opening the chest, strengthening the upper back. And then lowering all the way down onto the belly, hands underneath the shoulders, press it back up to plank pose on your exhale. And then downward facing dog. Good news, we have two sides, we get to do it all over again. Inhale, sweep the left leg up, and then exhale, cross that ankle over the right quad. So just make sure it's not on the knee. You can take a gentle bend in through the right knee, walk the hands in a little bit if you want a deeper stretch. And then looking forward, we're coming into Ekkapada Kundunyasana. So take that left leg to the back of the left arm, shift forward, Chaturanga arms, lift off the feet. And then stepping it back, take the left leg forward, coming in to your externally rotated runner's lunge. And then we're coming into your version of side plank, so maybe holding onto the toe, maybe holding onto the knee, maybe coming into a tree version of side plank. Wherever you are, keep stable through the shoulder and keep both of the hips facing the long end of your mat. And then step that right leg behind you, open the hips and the chest all the way up through your wild thing, fullest expression. And then as you exhale, rotate back, bringing that left foot to the front of the mat. We're coming back into our Skandasana waves, make them your own. And then rotating to the back of the mat, coming into Anjanayasana with the right leg forward. Gently drawing the tail down, the lower belly up, lengthening through the spine. And either just interlacing the hands with the opposite grip behind you, opening up through the chest, or bending through that left leg, reaching back, grabbing a hold of the foot, either reaching the hands straight back behind you, or if it's available in your body, reaching the arms up and overhead for the foot. If you had a hold of the foot, slowly releasing. We're coming into Anahatasana, right knee meets the left, walk the hands forward. Last time here, make it your own, maybe adding the pulsation, gently drawing in on your inhales and exhaling, sinking a little deeper on your exhales. And then grounding down through the forearms, we're coming back into Dolphin Pose. If you need to take a downward dog or a child's pose instead, please feel free. And taking the feet about a half a footprint backwards, we're coming into those dolphin waves. Inhale forward, tap the nose. Exhale for 1, 2. Keep the elbows in. 3, 4, 5. Brief reprieve in downward dog. And then coming back either for Ekkapada Dolphin on the other side, single leg dolphin, or we're coming into scorpion in pincher. So you can always just hang out in pincher. Otherwise, you're going to think of sending the chest through the gateway of the arms and think of bending from the knees as opposed to just dumping into the lower back. So you want to keep nice and long and extended through the thoracic spine. Open through the shoulders and think of the toes coming to touch the back of the head as opposed to the back of the head coming to touch the toes. Keep extending through the chest, pressing the floor away. And then slowly coming back through pincher, releasing to your forearm plank, releasing all the way down onto the belly, and take a couple of breaths in Sphinx pose. Nearly there, guys. Lower all the way down to the belly. Press up through plank. Downward facing dog. Look towards the feet. Step walk or float the feet to the, look towards the hands. Step walk or float the feet to the outsides of the hands. You can tell I'm tired when I can't even get my hands and my feet correct. And take a couple of breaths in Malasana. And then taking the left hand down, reaching the right arm up. And if it's available in your body, reaching the right arm back around the back, the left arm around the front of the left shin, coming into a bound Malasana. And coming back through Malasana. From here, you're going to step the left foot to the middle of the mat, step the right foot back as if you're coming into Warrior Two. We're going to come into side angle pose. So you can stay here or take that right hand behind the back, left arm underneath the legs, coming into your bound side angle pose. Make sure that that left knee doesn't collapse in, and make sure that the left knee isn't coming too far over the left ankle. if you can, keep the bind. Start to straighten out through the left leg, coming into Uttanasana. If that's not available in your body and it causes you to round too much through the spine, just come into a regular triangle pose. And then start to rotate down, coming onto the back toes, coming into your runner's lunge, staying here, or taking that left arm underneath the left leg if you let go of the bind, the right hand behind. If you stayed in the bind the whole time, then you're just rotating the hips square to the floor, coming into a bound runner's lunge. And then from here, keep the runner's lunge. Just release the hands as they are. So keep the left hand, the left arm underneath the left leg. Start to walk that left foot towards the center of your mat. And you're going to bend into Chaturanga arms. So as if you're coming into Kundunyasana, but now your left leg is a little monkey tail. See if you can draw that leg up towards your belly. Lift the right foot off and then bend the right knee so that the right foot stamps up towards the sky. Flying lizard. And then when you've had enough, slowly, as gracefully or ungracefully as you can, release. Take it through an optional vinyasa. We all meet in downward dog. Just the second side to go. Step, walk or float all the way to Malasana. And then take the right hand down, reach the left arm up. Staying here or coming into your bound Malasana, whatever is available in your body. And then coming back through center, step that right foot to the middle of the mat as you step the left foot back, coming into your side angle pose. Staying here or taking the bind. See if you can drop those hips low. You might have to lengthen your stance a bit. And then keeping the bind if you can, start to straighten the front leg into Uttanasana. If not, release your bind and just come into Trikonasana. And then keep the bind if you've got it. Start to rotate the hips to square towards the front of the mat, coming into that bound runner's lunge. So taking the right hand underneath the right leg, the left hand behind the back. And trying to get the hips square to the floor as you can, drawing the right hip back slightly. And then just releasing the bind, keep that right shoulder underneath the right leg. Plant the hands as if you're kind of coming to Chaturanga. Start to walk that right foot towards the center of the mat. See if you can hug it up into the body. Shift the weight forward, bend into the elbows. See if you can lift that back leg off. Bend the left knee, stamp the foot to the floor, flying lizard. Keep the elbows hugging in, the chest reaching forward. And then slowly gracefully, or in my case, very ungracefully, making your way back through an optional vinyasa. We meet in downward facing dog. So if you wanted to try any of those peak poses again, the scorpion and the pincher, the flying lizard, any handstands, now would be a good time to pause the video and try that, because we are going to cool it down. So we're going to do a little bit of core work and then we're going to start to cool it down. So look between your hands, step, walk or float through to a seat. And then come into Navasana, Navasana boat pose. And then because we have been working with external rotation today, see if you can come into a butterfly in your Navasana. So you might have to rock the torso back a little bit. See if you can bring the soles of the feet together. Reach the hands forward. And then reach the peace fingers to the big toes. Uttanasana Konasana, spreading the legs wide, balancing just past the sit bones. And then you can choose to stay here in the balance, or you can start to take some rolls along the length of the spine, pausing when you get to the shoulders, and then using your core strength to bring you all the way back up to seated, trying not to overbalance. And take a few rocks or stay, do what feels good in your body. And then coming all the way back up to balance. Coming into Bokasana. And then slowly rolling all the way onto your back. We're going to take some butterfly crunches. So bring the hands behind the head, Supta Baddha Konasana in the legs, and then as you exhale, crunch. You're going to take about, 15. Keep that root to hip connection. And last one. So core work can be really nice after deep back bends to help to neutralize the spine. We're going to do one more. Bring the legs into tabletop position, knees directly above the hips. And then think of pulling on a tight pair of jeans, gently drawing in that lower belly. Keep that as you send the right heel towards the floor. Exhale it back in. Inhale, left heel. Exhale back in. One more on each side. Keep the pelvis steady. The lower ribs on the floor. And then you can stay with this or take the hands up towards the sky as the right heel goes down, the left arm reaches back. And then bring it to center. Exhale it away. Inhale it to center. Keep going like this. And stopping when you feel your pelvis is starting to wobble, you're starting to lose that rib to hip connection, maybe making the movement a bit smaller. We'll do two more on each side. And then bringing it in, give the knees a squeeze. And then plant the sole of the right foot to the floor, take the left leg up towards the ceiling, grabbing behind the calf for a hamstring stretch. Maybe pointing and flexing the toes. Releasing any tension from the neck, shoulders and jaw. And swapping it out, taking the left foot to the floor, reaching the right foot up, maybe pointing and flexing the toes. And then bringing your arms out to a capital T, taking a spinal twist of your choice. Do what feels good in your body. Taking the legs over to the left. Try and keep the right shoulder down on the floor. Maybe the gaze can come to the right. And then bringing it up through center. Take the legs over to the right. Left shoulder stays on the floor. Maybe the gaze comes to the left. Coming back through center, taking a happy baby, reaching for the outside edges of the feet, the ankles, the calves or the thighs. And maybe rocking side to side, letting the lower back spread on the floor. And then bringing the knees in towards the chest, rolling the forehead towards the knees, squeezing yourself into a really tight little ball. Think of engaging every single muscle in the body. Screw up the face, curl the toes. Take one more inhale. And then open mouth, exhale, let everything relax. And letting your body melt into Shavasana. Letting go of the control of the breathing. Taking these final few moments here to feel supported and held on the earth. And taking a quick body scan. Bringing your attention to your toes and your feet. Feel them supported on the earth. And just noticing any differences without judgment, without attachment as we move through the body. Make your way up to your knees and your legs. Feel them heavy and relaxed. Coming to your pelvis, your hips, releasing any tension or gripping that you feel there. And coming to your belly, and letting go of any judgment or attachments that we may have with this particularly sensitive area, what we think it should look like, should be, knowing that it is our second brain, our gut, and it does a lot for us. Take a moment to be grateful. Make your way up to your chest, your lungs, your heart, your vital organs, and take a moment of gratitude that they keep us alive every day without us having to think about it. And then feel your shoulders releasing onto the earth, away from the ears, the tension melting away. Feel the elbows and the arms and the hands supported on the earth. And then bring your attention to your neck, your jaw, seeing if you can release any tension there. And into the space between your eyebrows, see if you can feel it widen, relax. Feel your tongue relax. Gentle parting between your teeth. Feel your whole body supported here on the mat, and know that you are exactly where you are meant to be, exactly how you are meant to be. Please stay here for as long as you have time for today. Today, as you go forward, may you be peaceful in your thoughts, grateful in your words, and truthful in your heart. Namaste.